You see, that's the real threat to democracy, stupid people. That's the threat. Our biggest threat to democracy is stupid people. If I were named Obama, I would have had the Nobel Prize given in 10 seconds. He got the Nobel Prize. He didn't even know what the hell he got it for. Remember, he got elected. Well, so did I. He got elected, and they announced he was getting the Nobel Prize. Remember, he said, "Oh, what did I do?" He didn't know what the hell he did. He got the Nobel Prize for doing nothing. For getting elected, but I got elected too. And, you know, if I think of that, we did something, the Abraham Accords, unprecedented. Nobody thought it was possible. And I'm not saying want or not. I'm just saying if it was anybody else, liberal, Democrat, they would have had it before the damn thing was even signed, you know. So there has to be fairness, and I don't care, but I'm not looking for it. I'm not politicking for it. I'm just saying that there's a lot of unfairness in this world.
The reason some people think, wow, I don't know, I remember that economy when he first came in being pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty good, because it was my economy. We had 75 straight months of job growth that I handed over to him. It wasn't something he did. I had spent 8 years cleaning up the mess that the Republicans had left me the last time. So just in case everybody has a hazy memory, he didn't do nothing except those big tax cuts.
Why doesn't anybody like me? It isn't fair. It isn't fair. You know, Barack Obama, his middle name is Hussein. Have you ever heard of that? His middle name is Hussein.
And I haven't noticed anybody leaving. There was one gentleman over there, but he came back. He went to the bathroom. And what the fake news will do is take a picture of one empty seat, say, people are fleeing. No, they don't flee. Nobody's fleeing. Nobody's leaving. I always watch. If they start to leave, I just end the speech. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to make America great again. Enjoy yourself.
There's something poignant about it, psychologically speaking. Every bully, of course, is operating on a complete bundle of insecurities, as Donald Trump was, and Mike Pence was trying to ease him off of the ledge and say, you know, you can run again in 2024. This can be an intermission, a respite. It can be a break. Then you can come back and do it. He was trying to psychologically condition him to understand what everybody was telling him, from the Attorney General of the United States to the White House counsel to people in the campaign, which is that he had lost the election. And there are numerous indications in the filing that Trump understood he lost the election, but still he wanted to perpetrate the fraud.
These leaks just keep on coming in as the people closest to Trump and Vance try to stop them from winning the election.
There's like 38 different vaccines, and it looks like it's meant for a horse, not a 10-pound or 20-pound baby. It looks like you should be giving a horse this, and do you ever see the size of it, right? It's just massive. And then you see the baby all of a sudden starting to change radically. I've seen it too many times. And then you hear that it doesn't have an impact, right? But you and I talked about that a long time ago. And anyway, I would love you to do stuff. And I think it'll be so good for you and so big for you. And we're going to win. We're going to win. We're way ahead of the guy.
I think that the thing that we have to take away from the last 10 years is that we really need to be really ruthless when it comes to the exercise of power. I was talking about this with someone earlier today, where you remember there was some threat that congressional or Senate Republicans made. If you get rid of the filibuster, we're going to do X, Y, and Z. And you actually look at it, it's like, oh, this is not that interesting.
We're going to actually deliver on our promises that we've made for decades.
Right?
Sounds
this is the threat. If you get rid of the filibuster, we're going to do this stuff. Like, they're talking about expanding the Supreme Court. They're talking about adding, 2 senators from heavily Democratic places.
You get rid of the filibuster, we'll actually deliver on defunding.
We'll do what the base has been telling us that we don't want to do.
Already we have shown the power of our winning formula, working closely with many of the great people at Heritage over the 4 incredible years that we've worked with you a lot. And we were just discussing it with Kevin Plain. They're going to work on some other things that are going to be very exciting, I think, Kevin. I think maybe the most exciting of all.
You know, one of the biggest shames about this whole situation, let alone the fact that Donald Trump is a 78-year-old man with no military background, no real political background, so he doesn't fit the general framing of somebody who would be a dictator. You know, he just really doesn't. He's a game show host. He's a hand-me-down child. He blew his father's fortune. But even outside of that, you know, you look at other dictators, they talk about the nation, the strength of the nation. Overall, Donald Trump talks about himself. Yeah, he fearmongers and he says, make America great again. But for the most part, all he does is talk about himself. Kamala was right when she says go to his rally and check him out and listen to his list of grievances. But it's true. Like, it's not an exaggeration. All he does is pout and whine and complain about how unfair everything is for him, when in reality, he's just forced to face the consequences of his own actions. Perhaps he went almost 80 years without doing that, without having to actually face any repercussions, and now he's just doing so on the world stage. But it's like, how does this dude have this amount of devotion other than the racism? It's like y'all couldn't have found a better person to follow than this clown. It's really a shame.